Let's learn about for loops. To this section, learning objectives explain for loop syntax, identify the causes of an infinity loop, identify the relationship between patterns, loops, and output. So let it begin. So first of all, for loop syntax. Before you start writing a loop, you need to able to spot the pattern. So there is we see symbol println command with hello that will print hello 5 times. The pattern is system.println hello and it's repeated five times. Since we know that the loops needs to run exactly 5 times, a for loop is the way to go. Here is how you write a for loop that repeats 5 times. So let me, by using for loops, to show how it works, let me copy it and pass here. So if click to try it, so we can see that word hello is printed 5 times. Like conditionals, for loops are code blocks. In addition to a Boolean statement, you declare, initialize, and increment a variable, call it the loop iterator. All of the code that will be repeated needs to be between curly braces. Understanding the loop header. This code is used to put headers to our, for example, for our inputting word. For example, there is we have loop, and this part of coding by using for means that every word of loop that repeated 5 times will have their own heading. For example, if I will click to try it, so we can see that every loop has their headers. For example, first loop has header of 0, and fifth has header of 4. This is work like syntax or index. So next loop is while loop. This section learning objectives explain while loop syntax, identify the causes of infinity while loop, describe the break statement as it relates to a while loops. So let's begin. First of all, while loop syntax. While loops, like for loops, use curly braces and intents for all commas that should be repeated. However, for loops generally contain 3 elements, and while loop usually contains just a Boolean expression. For the for and while loops below produces the same results. So as you can see, a for loop is example of for loop. As a result, we will see loop with 5 loops that printed 5 times with a heading. And this code is written by using while loop, and this is also will be printed loop 5 times with header. So note that variable declaration and installation happen before the start of the while loop, and any changes that occur to the variable happen within the body of the curly braces. On the other hand, everything happens in one step within patterns, using for when using a for loop. So here's another example of while loop that prints hello based on the value of variable count. So let me pass this and put here. So there is some oh, okay, let me just, does it work? No, doesn't. So as you can see, we see hello that printed 5 times. So Infinity loops. Infinity loops are loops that do not have a test condition that causes them to stop. The following is common mistake that results in infinity loop. So let me copy it and paste here. So since the variable code never gets decremented, it remains at 5, and 5 will be forever be greater than 0, so the loop will never stop. So important. Copy the no, wait. Excuse me. Why use a while loop? If a while loop does the same thing as a for loop, then what is the purpose of having both? While loops are actually more useful when you are waiting for a certain event to occur. Imagine you are making a video game. The game should continue until the player loses all their lives. You don't know how long this will take, so a while loop is more operative. When, on the other hand, if you have more specific loop parameters, a for loop will be better. It means that if you exactly know how many times you should run your code, you should use for loop. When there is no such a thing, um, clearness, you should use while. Yes. So yes, let's talk about break statement. Infinite loops are bad? Oh, right. Well, that depends. If an infinite loop is caused because the counting variable is not incremented, then it's a bug. However, some programs properly create conditions that will always evaluate to true. Therefore, the loop will always run. In such case, a break statement is used to stop the loop at particular point in the program. So, this we have an example of code. Take a look at the following program. Yes, let me copy it. Yes, and put here. Yes, and if I click to try it, this is an infinity loop. This is an infinity loop. The loop has ended. So even though while true will always evaluate as a true statement, the loop never becomes infinity because of the break statement. So next is comparing while loops. The while loops introduced on the previous page look different from the while loop covered on this page. However, they both have the same components and behave similarly. So this is the end of our section about for and while loop. And let's learn about nested loop. This section's learning objectives explain nested loop syntax, identify the relationship between the variables in each loop with the output produced. So let's begin. Let me just A nested loop is a loop that exists inside of another loop. An advantage of using method of nested loops is that the loops can work together to create a unique queue and complex outputs. However, due to their complexity potential, it is rare to see the implementation of more than two nested loops. If possible, it's recommended that you refactor your code to reduce this complexity. Syntax. The code below will draw a rectangle of 100 using hashtag in a 10 multiple to 10 grid. The first loop controls the row of output, while the second loop prints 10 to the screen. So let me just copy it and put here. Click to try it. As you can see, we can see hashtags and with 10 with 10 with 10 to 10 grid, 10 row, 10 columns. Nested loop coding challenge. There is just nested loop challenging. Okay. I guess everything was uh I guess everything was clear, and that's end of our section that designed two loops, nested loops, for loops, and while loops. So bye.